Hey, Jason Barry here. Wanted to do this one a little bit differently. The film that I got, or footage that I got from this recent trip, isn't exactly made for full-length dive videos like I typically do, but I'm pretty sure I can clip them together and show you the best of the best and make it entertaining anyway. Wanted to try out doing some of the cleaning. I know a lot of people have commented in there about showing some of the cleaning and stuff like that. We're typically doing commercials, so I don't clean a whole bunch of them. I mean, I do keep a bunch of fish myself, but I never really film it or anything like that. So I'm gonna do that for you today. We also got some lobsters. Obviously it was a lobster trip. My buddy Chad and I got an invite over from another childhood buddy of mine on the East Coast to do this commercial lobster trip, and we did okay. I mean, it wasn't a killer trip, but it wasn't a strikeout by any means either. This is the last weekend of the season for us, so we said why not, and made the run over. Worst that we had, because he had the boat over there already, was just fuel in the truck and a little bit of time, so we made the run, and it ended up being a really cool trip. I'll go ahead and start it out with showing you guys some of the lobster footage that we got. Chad and I did pretty good on lobsters for the boat. Obviously we caught some females with eggs and some short lobsters mixed in between, but we had plenty of keepers. I think we ended up with probably 35-ish, 36 keepers between the two of us. So I'll go ahead and show you some of that now, and then I'll grab some lobsters and start cleaning them, and we'll get back to it.
And what we'll do is we're going to put a radio on the flag, right? All right.
That's a good idea too.
Yeah, you guys ready? Right here.
Yeah, we're ready.
Maybe we'll do it next time if we don't get lost.
Yeah.
All right, motor's off.
Sure.
Is it good? Clear?
Clear, motor's on. Is it cold?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Crazy man.
What? What the shit?
So obviously this was a commercial trip, and this guy was selling lobsters. So Chad and I only kept a few for ourselves, and we let them sell the rest. But it was more than enough for what we wanted anyway. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 lobsters, and I ended up catching a channel clinging crab. I don't know if I got the video of catching this or not. I had one dive, my battery was dead. It was probably that one. I didn't do real well on lobsters that dive. I think I only caught 2 and then that, so didn't really miss out much. But yeah, here, I'll show you this cool. While we're laying everything out, got this nice cubera too, that we actually caught by hand. It had a leader hanging out of its mouth, and we were able to run it down with our scooters and grab the leader and managed to actually catch them, which was pretty cool. I never would have thought to do that. But I'm gonna throw this back in there and start cleaning these bugs. So a lot of people do them differently. Some people just rip the tail, some people cut them. They say that you get some more meat if you cut them, so we'll go ahead and try that. Just make a little bit of slice in the back, get all of it out of there. So I think it does work. There's still a couple little loins in there. You can see this is actually a female that was about to lay eggs. Now you can't keep them when they have eggs laid. They lay them underneath the tail right in here, So you have to release them if you catch them like that. But this one, we couldn't tell that it was pregnant, obviously, because they were inside of her. That was totally legal to keep. So I'm going to go through and clean these. That way it's all done before I throw them in my bowl anyway. So this is the cool part. I'm going to pop these off and get the meat out of them using an air compressor. So I'll throw those over here. If I had a little hatchet, there's actually more meat in these jaws and actually underneath where their horns are. You can pop them with a little hatchet right here and break that whole front off, and you can get quite a bit more, but for now I'm just going to get this little bit extra and call her good. I'm just going to go ahead and run through all of these real quick, and then we'll go into doing something different. It works out better if you can leave the antennas intact, like not break this off. I just broke off one to clean the tails out, but the rest of them, if I can help it, I'm going to keep them whole. Some of them are broke off. I mean, this one was broke off, so it is what it is. It'll be a little bit harder to get the meat out of that, but we'll still give her a shot. Another female that was about to lay. See, we have another female there that was about to lay. So the season is closing this weekend, and that's the reason why it's closing. It's because this is when most of them lay their eggs. So it gives them protection for when they're actually breeding, or not breeding, but because they've already bred, but when they're actually laying their eggs. So it gives them a little bit of a rest period. That's when the majority of the population actually does it. Some other parts of Florida where the temperatures are different, they'll lay them later than the typical part, but we were in South Florida, so South Florida and the Keys, they usually run about similar time to where they have eggs during that closed season, and then just a little bit into the mini season and first beginning part of the regular season. But yep, that's the reason why they do seasons then. It's a nice little 25-pound cubera. No spear holes in them at all. The only holes that we got are where I knifed them in the head. Pretty neat. They got a pretty flay on them. Compared to, you know, if you had a 10-pound cubera versus a 10-pound mangrove, that mangrove's gonna have a way bigger bloodline in them. A lot of people are afraid of these cuberas, but they are extremely good eating. When you start getting into the bigger ones, you have to start cooking them, prepping them a little bit differently just because they're so big. But if you know how to cook, you'll definitely make something good out of them. This one here is really easy. You can do it any way you want, just like you do anything else. I'm actually going to take I'll probably take the ribs. I had it gutted in the cooler, so it's not too bad. I'll take the ribs off. And I'm going to take the collar as well, because this one was so unique to us. I might even do the skull mount on it. Yeah, that I'm not gonna do the rack. I know a lot of people do. I don't care that much about it. I got a creek right next to the house that it will go in, and the turtles and raccoons will enjoy it more so than I will. We will take the cheeks. Throw that in there. And I'm going to take, you don't have to do this for cleaning purposes, I'm just doing this for the skull mount purposes. It's easier just to go ahead and take the gills out now because I don't use them. It's probably the reason why my knives are always dull. Cutting on all these bones. Got a pretty cool little head, all cleaned out, ready to go. So these cuberas have a pretty decent bloodline, so I'm going to try not to go right against the skin and just get close. We'll see how it works out. Try to leave most of it on the skin if I can. Yeah, I did alright. Most of it is down here, which is good. Go through and cut this out, along with the pin bones right here. Portion it up. So I'm not sure how long this video is actually going to be if I'm adding all this other stuff into it. It'll probably be decently long, but hopefully entertaining enough. I'm not going to do the cook because I don't really plan on being here right now. I'm going to cook this in probably a couple weeks. It's going to go in my freezer for now. I'm leaving quite a bit of meat on this one. Maybe a little bit more than I wanted to, but it's alright. I'll give this one to Chad. Have hardly any red left on that one. But we'll do the same thing. Cut these pin bones out. And that little bit of red down the center. Yeah.
Oh no! Where's the leader? Where's the leader? There you go. There you go. I got it on. That's super cool. Sorry. Hey. Fuck you. No one's gonna leave it.
That was fucking cool.
That's what I was saying. If you keep pushing him around, he's gonna go in a hole.
I figured he would, but I didn't know he didn't really want to.
I had it in my hand the first time on the boat.
Did you? I about grabbed it when he came over the top.
I had it, but it freaking slipped through there.
Dude, I about stuck my fingers in his mouth.
Then he kicked out and hit me right in the chest.
I was like, did you get it? Because I couldn't see shit.
Yeah, when he kicked out, he was right in
Hey,
the chest.
don't tell them. We're just going to let them look in the fucking bag. It's getting nautical out here. It'd probably be nice on the beach. I got a couple. Fucking right here, buddy. It had that leader sticking out of his mouth. We just,
That's how you call it. You fucking funny.
we ran him down. We ran him down. Yeah.
Ow. Oh my god, that's big. You hooked into
We chased him down until he got into a wreck. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I think I did anyway.
Holy shit. That's fine. Is that a cubera?
Yeah. I was finger gunning him down there and he said, let's catch it, so.
Chased him all over the place. So you saw him with this leader in his mouth, like wobbling around?
No, he was swimming. We chased him to a wreck.
Chased him everywhere with this leader. And he saw the leader and just grabbed it?
Well, we chased him into the wreck. He finally got into a wreck. We ran him around in circles a couple times. He grabbed the leader and I tackled him and then he slipped out of my hands and hit him in the chest.
Oh my god.
It was pretty cool.
Have you ever experienced that with a line?
No. That's the first cubera that we've ever caught without a gun.
That is sick.
I'm pretty sure the fishermen could have put more heat on him though.
Yeah, and a cable and heavy line. Goddamn crap.
Pretty cool.
This is the snare that I was using. They had a bunch of them, or a couple of them anyway, on the boat. This is what they were using. There's a local guy over there that makes them, and I thought it was really neat. This is a typical green snare that we use. Pull it, it locks in on the tail of the lobster. It does have a lock here that you have to press to push it forward. So once you pull it, it locks in place. That's got an advantage and disadvantage in my opinion. This snare obviously is more home built and it does not have that lock on it. What I like about this one is the size of the snare, of the loop. This is like, if you get into some of the bigger, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, even up to 10-pound lobsters, sometimes it gets kind of hard to get that snare over top of their tail from the normal green one. So in the video, I'll play the clip right now. Actually, I had one of the snares was really elongated and kind of collapsed down, but I'll show that to you right now.
What was that?
So what I did to fix that, they ended up giving me this snare actually. I'm gonna get the info for the guy that built them and maybe put it in the description. I don't know if I'm gonna, you know, what I can do to that at that point. I might already have the video uploaded by then, but if I can change it around and give you guys the info, I will. But what I did when I got to the house, this one was elongated and it kind of came back on top of itself. So I just set it up and I got a heat gun out and I heated it up this monofilament to where it had a better shape. So I think what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to store it with it open, because I think if you store it with it closed, it's going to build up that memory that I don't want it to have. So I'll just store it with it open and I'll reheat it up as needed to readjust it later on if it does get out of sequence. These ones do the same exact thing. I mean, they're pretty elongated too right now, and normally you see me underwater bending this wire and stuff like that, you know, almost after every single lobster. This one's same deal. You know, it's super long and skinny and it's bent up and it doesn't go out at the perfect angle or anything. So you're dealing with the same, you know, the same hurdles as this one. I like this one because it's a little bit longer. We'll hold these end to end. You can see it's probably another 6-8 inches longer. I'm either gonna talk to the guy and have him build me a little bit longer one, or I might try to copy his design. I'm not sure yet. It seems pretty easy to make, but I don't know. If I can give him business, if I can get a hold of him and he wants to build one, I don't know, about a foot longer, I'd probably be happy with that and be more than willing to pay him whatever he wants. I think they're, you know, I think he said that they charge about $50 per on those normal orders, and I think if you do a bunch of them at a time, it gives you a little bit of a break. We'll see what he wants to do with it. I'll try to get a hold of him after I get his info. I got the vacuum packer out and I vacuum packed all the fillets and bagged up the lobster, and I cooked up these claws. I'm actually gonna go ahead and crack them open and have a little snack. Man, that one's hard. Now, I think I messed up on these and they ended up on ice in the cooler. I had them bagged up so they weren't sitting directly on it. So I'm hoping that was good enough and they don't stick, but we're about to find out. Oh yeah, they look great. I was really worried about that. Look at that big old chunk of meat. Man, that's very similar to a stone crab. Maybe not quite as sweet, but very similar. Come on. Nope, this one's sticking. Yep. So that one's stuck in there, so I'll have to get in there and dig it out. I might have to get a fork or something like that. And try this one. Yep, same thing. That's alright. I'll get in there and scrape it all out. I ain't gonna let it stop me. pretty good chunk of meat. I got most of it out. There's just a little bit in there. Extremely sweet. Not as sweet as a stone crab, but real close to it. I just cut myself on that shell, so they got a sharp shell just like a stone crab. It's like a ceramic, so you got to be careful eating these or stone crabs, because they're got a thick shell. They're hard to break and sharp. Man, that's good. Man, I'd eat those all day. I see where everybody's catching these. It's probably been 7 or 8 years, maybe even 10 years, where people started actually harvesting these things. And I see a ton of people killing the whole crab. You get some meat out of the cluster of the crab, out of the legs, but in my opinion, it's just as good to harvest them just like a stone crab. Pop their claws off and then let them go so they can regrow. I used to catch a bunch of these down in the Keys, and then when it got popular to keep, I quit seeing. I mean, I seen a bunch of the crabs, I just quit seeing the males with the big claws. Obviously, everybody was harvesting them. I've seen a ton of females. So these will pop off like a stone crab, but if you break them off, it typically will kill the crab. So I like to stick them in the joint right here with a knife and let them pop off on their own. You've seen plenty of videos of people doing that with stone crabs. You can do it the same with these. I have broke them before, but I'd say 90% of the time it'll kill the crab if you're breaking them like that. So just take the time, take a knife to them, harvest a couple claws off of them, let them go to regrow, keep producing. These things are an excellent little bonus when you're out there diving, going for lobsters or spearfishing or whatever you want to do. There ain't no reason to kill the whole crab over it. I might have to get something else out to get them knuckles out. I got most of everything else. That was good. Good little snack. Man, that was an epic battle chasing that cubera down. I never would have imagined that we actually landed the thing. I mean, we kind of had an idea right off the bat, seeing that long leader hanging out. I mean, obviously that's the reason why we were chasing him around, trying to get him to hole up. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I got everything going now. I'm about to cook this thing. I got my burner going. Got the head down there in the cooler. It's steaming, so probably done. Go ahead and throw some of this hot water in there and let her start cooking. Ooh, that's a lot. This is how I do all my heads. I don't really boil them, but I slow cook them. Man, you guys are steamed up. Oh well. I didn't pour all of it in there. Yep, it's mostly covered. Nice hot water, wasn't quite boiling. I'll close it up, latch it, and got that lid closed down and got her cooking. I'll probably let it cook in there for maybe an hour, hour and a half, just as long as it takes to get all the bones loosened up from the meat. It's kind of like a sous vide type deal, you know, or a crock pot slow cooker. Not really boiling it, because the hotter you get it, the worse off it is. I've heard that it damages the bones, and it tends to, I guess what people say is, cook the oils deeper into the bones. I'm not sure. This is just how I've had the best luck with it. But I'll go through there and peel all the bones away from the meat, maybe use a water hose or something like that and clean them up. Then I'll start soaking them in some cleaning solutions. If you guys are interested in it, let me know, and I might do a little bit more in-depth video on how to do the skulls, cleaning process and all that other stuff. It takes probably 6 to 12 months, sometimes a little bit longer. Just depends on my cleaning regimen anyway, how active I am on changing the fluids out. But yeah, I'll probably hit on it a little bit more depending on the interest. Show you guys the results later on down the road. But I appreciate you guys watching this one. I'm probably going to do a few more like it, but I'll still have the normal full-length dive videos mixed in as well. So we'll just see how it goes from here. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one.